Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the new Mandalorian show that has recently come onto Disney+. I'm sure most of you are aware of its existence. If you aren't, then you've either been hiding under a rock or, because of the disappointment of Last Jedi, have given up on Disney entirely. Now me, I was a little skeptical, but then seeing the trailers, it kind of incited me to go and watch it. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. Not the entire thing, because YouTube would absolutely hate me for that, but I'm going to be picking out bits from the show, and we're just going to be reacting to it and having my thoughts about it. So yeah, let's get started. Yeah, good to see they're still plastering Lucasfilm on everything. One of these days Disney will get rid of that. Interesting. That was an interesting logo. Is that the Disney Plus one? I'm not sure. He's speaking about as much as he did in the trailers, which is very little. I'm liking the separated subtitles there.
He says you spilled his drink.
For those who don't know, the steel used, that's the steel used in their armor, which is like passed down through generations. Usually damaging it, which I think they're just about to do, or any type of scratching, is highly dishonorable to a Mandalorian, as once forged, it's really indestructible and hard to reforge, so that's usually why they pass it down in their generations. It's also very, very honor-bound. They're very heavy on honor for those, you know, still heavy in Mandalorian ways. This is this shot from the trailers that we've seen. Oh, lovely. So we're getting a more mature vibe, or at least I'm feeling that. Yeah, I like that. I'm getting a very, like, Batman combat vibe.
Think you can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
He looks like he'd be cold-blooded anyway. You know what? Yeah, that's a good start. I'm liking this so far. That looks like the, spy that, spied on Han Solo and Luke in the original, trilogy. Forget the species, but they're very, you know, covert, and they have to wear masks because of climate from their original planet. Now this is an interesting design, because it's been shown that, like, astromech droids can drive, you know, ships and speeders on their own, so to have just a pilot in the front is very ingenious. I like that a lot. Ooh, that shot is reminiscent of the one from episode 4 when they're going to go find R2, or it looks like it. Ooh. Yeah, no, I'd get on the ship if I were you. Being taken in for a bounty is probably much better than being eaten by that. I mean, depends whoever put the bounty on you, but still. Yeah, don't just stand there. I never get why they just stand there in TV and film. Yes, because you didn't move. Oh, did they just reference Life Day? They did, didn't they? Oh well. Guess the holiday special's a little bit more relevant than Star Wars wants us to think. Lovely. I am loving the costume design of most of the people I can see in here. Have got great costume design. It's really nice. Oh, there's a Trandoshan. Several Trandoshans.
I don't know if you heard, but the Empire is gone.
It's all I've got.
Oh yes.
Save the theatrics.
As this is set after the fall of the Empire in episode 6, referencing that the Empire is dead.
But I can only pay half.
We've got some very cinematic shots. I'm liking the cinematography so far. These would be Imperial remnant members now.
We have you 4-1. I like those odds.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm liking this character so far. It's cool to see the Imperial Remnant, or I presume that's what it's going to be. That's what this would be from Legends material in actual, like, you know, on screen, because we never saw the Imperial Remnant really. I think the lack of lines so far from him are really playing to his strengths. A mysterious character, both in appearance and, well, to the audience. Is that another Mandalorian I see? Oh, I'm starting to see what the guild is now. It's a Mandalorian guild, is it? Hey, that would be your crest of the Mandalorian. Usually depicted in 2D art, but it's cool to see it depicted 3D. And this is cool. This is cool. I like this. Oh, we get to actually see them forging it. Oh, the armor here, let me pause it real quick. The armor here seems remnant of the original Mandalorian armor, sort of more, I guess, real life medieval style. But if you've ever seen art of Mandalore back then, I'll put a picture up on screen for context. It does sort of have similar aspects to that, which I think is a cool nod, hinting at him in canon now. This is an interesting soundtrack, a bit different for Star Wars. The whole thing kind of has been, but I'm digging it so far. Oh. Okay, we're getting some backstory here. Evidently traumatic childhood. This looks like during the Galactic Civil War, I'm gonna guess, because of the combat. The location shooting in this is superb, I have to point out. We've been to, what was it, 3 different planets so far, and all of them have been really well, like, scouted. It really does look like separate planets in a different universe. It's great. And the meld with CG here, my god, that's really nice. They've really outdone themselves, I think. Oh, it's a, that's an Ugnaught, I think. The people we see on Cloud City in episode 5 that use 3PO's head as a ball. Oh, that shot in the sun, that's so cool. And like the details in here, I'm going to be able to pull up quite a lot in detailed analysis of this. You've noticed, but in most Star Wars anything really, the way to bond with an animal is to put your hand on its forehead. Which I think is a nod to the connotation of the Force just in all living things and how they're all connected, even if you're not Force sensitive, which is a cool nod. Yeah, just the CG and the shadow work in this is really outstanding.
Never met a Mandalorian. I've only read the stories. If they are true, you will make quick work of it.
High praise. And
Spoken.
the praise is just because, yeah, the stories of the Mandalorians were almighty and great. Whether this Mandalorian can live up to that is another thing entirely. There's IG-11, the one that was referenced in the trailer. IG droids, because of their rotating heads and the fact that they can basically see in every direction and spin their bodies independently, can, yeah, basically do what you've just seen there. They're also very intelligent for a droid. I'm liking the small amount of, like, it almost looks like a minigun, the front half of the gun, which is cool. You know what? That was cool. I like. I keep saying that, but yeah, that was
Well done. Now we just need to get the door open.
Oh, I love that. You know what? They've only just met and they have great chemistry. Like, I love the droids in this universe. They're like one of my favorite characters. Just droids throughout any film. And this is the small species, same species as Yoda that we saw in the trailer.
We'll bring it in alive.
The commission was quite specific. The asset was to be terminated.
Ah, they've got different contracts. That was good cinematography. Again, they're really showing up in this one. Oh, has he got a heart? Hey, you know what? That was actually really good. I like the end scene just there. That was actually really nice. And while not a cliffhanger, it was an anticipation of the other episode. So, what did I think of it? Well, I thought that, like, they've really shown up. They've really, like, stepped up their game when it comes to actually, like, just producing, like, pure Star Wars content. Like, that's evident by the fact that it's directed by Dave Filoni, director of, the Clone Wars, which is one of the, well, this may be, my opinion, but my opinion is it's one of the best pieces of Star Wars content ever made, the Clone Wars. Not the best, mind you, before you start typing in the comments, but personally, I think they have done a cracking job with this, and they've really tried to immerse us in a universe and like a time period of that universe that we've never seen before, which is the period in between the fall of the Empire and the rise of, the New Republic and the First Order, basically the new sequel films. They're trying to really flesh out these like new time periods with the introduction of Jedi Fallen Order, and of course this, which is filling in gaps we've never seen before, really fleshing out the universe and just helping it feel good. With the arrival of Rise of Skywalker and the end of the Star Wars saga, it's going to be interesting to see how they sort of flesh out the universe which they've developed by going through the Star Wars, like the saga, the way they have, the Skywalker saga. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with this. Personally, I think this is at least so far, a less story-driven series. Of course, it's episodic. It's, on Disney Plus. But I personally feel like it's more action-oriented, which is, as long as they complement it with enough story to keep, me happy and keep me knowing what the story is, and, with twists and that, I'm perfectly fine with the more action-oriented film. Especially, it does fit the character of a Mandalorian, which were warriors, so action makes sense for them. You don't really see them sitting around doing much, other than, fighting. I think it'll be interesting to see also just, like, how Disney's new canon is going to deal with the Mandalorians, as not everything that we knew about Mandalorians is canon anymore. Most of it actually is Legends material. The only thing we really have to represent canon Mandalorians is the Mandalorians that were shown in both the Clone Wars and Rebels and the original trilogy, which shows us modern Mandalorians, but it really doesn't dive deep into their backstory and their origins, and just because we know that they are heralded as sort of legends, but we don't actually get to see why, and I really hope that they flesh out that. And I really think they will, because, Dave Filoni is really passionate about the universe building and just getting it to feel right, feel Star Wars. Personally, I think even if you're not a fan of Disney and the whole Disney Plus thing, you should totally go and give this a watch and, create your own opinions about it, but I really would recommend it. I think I will be reacting to and giving my words about the second episode soon too. So you've been watching All Things Sci-Fi. Specifically, we've been watching The Mandalorian Season 1, Episode 1. I hope you enjoyed coming on this journey with me, and I'd really like to hear what you guys think of the new Mandalorian series in the comments, plus any suggestions for what we do on the channel and what we discuss about this series or others in the comments too. If you want to subscribe and show your appreciation, I would absolutely love that, and a like would also go a long way. But yeah, I hope you all have a great morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye!